this year, we had to make a tough decision, which was what were we going to use for all of our data? We've used in years past different devices, and we have all of the devices. One of the things that caught my eye was your new launch with the GCQuad and the capabilities that we thought were, I guess the easiest way, better than everything else in the industry, both indoors and outdoors, but making it so no matter where a golfer is in the country, if they come out and play golf with one of our writers, play golf at one of our THP events, or play golf with one of our manufacturing partners, and we're there, you are going to have a chance to test out the GCQuad and find out the information that we believe is the most accurate in the industry. What was it like when the GCQuad was finally official, probably right before PGA show, and you knew immediately that like everybody was going to want one?
Yeah. When we first started the company, there was only 5 employees, and we had the GC2. That launch was extremely successful. Just in the first year, we had sold hundreds of devices when we thought we might do half of what we sold, and it was probably the most successful launch of any technology of its type into the industry.
They were everywhere.
Yeah, launch monitors were all around, but with its capability, again, with its reliability, its accuracy, its cost, its price point, it just was a tremendous launch. The GCQuad actually made that pale in comparison. So it was significantly higher, the response. And a lot of that has to do with all of our following previous to that, all of our users.
People trust you now.
They trust us, and they've used it for years. We have customers from the first customer that we sold to 7.5 years ago that still uses it in his home to hone his game when he otherwise doesn't have time to go to the course and practice, and still relies on the technology for that practice session and to be a better golfer. And the Quad, because of its easy use and its capabilities, is just expanding upon that. So that trust and that understanding and that capability it far exceeded our expectations.
When we tested all of them out side by side, they all work well. Mm-hmm. Each one has their pluses and minuses.
Absolutely.
We preferred camera because we want, when indoors, to be able to see exactly what the club head's doing. For our application, it meant more to be able to know exactly what the club head's doing in real time, close to real time. Will there ever be a point, and I'm putting Rick on the spot here, where we can do that outside without the use of dots?
There will be. Our engineers assure us that they are capable of doing that. Just as years ago when the first camera systems came out and they weren't capable, you had to auto-calibrate them,
yeah.
You'd have to adjust, and you have to manually calibrate them. We auto-calibrate, and so advancements keep coming. So we're able to track things in 3D space without dots, but as it stands today, camera's capability and functionality doesn't allow us to do it without that at a high resolution. We want it at the highest resolution so it takes the reflective markers to get the XYZ coordinates of that face plane.
And make it that accurate.
But there will be a point where we'll be able to pick out pixels on a face at high resolution and identify those points, and without marking of a club, be able to characterize that same movement through space.
When we tested out all devices, and I'm not just talking about the biggest names, I'm talking about everybody. As I mentioned, we chose to go with Foresight. You didn't call on me and say, hey, we should do this. In fact, I told you, I think, that we were going to do this.
Yeah.
And one of the things that really got me excited was the forward thinking here with the GCQuad about making golf fun. And when we came out here and took a tour of your facility, it is about fun. I mean, you're looking at it from a pure data standpoint and getting everything right, but it's also about games and things like that. What is the future hold for this kind of technology? I mean, are we looking at a GCQuad being a full-on simulator that would, in the past, cost $50,000 to $100,000? You could do that basically today?
Yeah, so there are many opportunities in the future. We have the engineering power to create and we will create the technologies of the future in every application, whether it's entertainment, whether it's instruction, whether it's research and development, whether it's personal improvement. We will continue to create those technologies. Those technologies will be more and more prevalent as the years go on and end up being in more and more homes. Right now, the price point is still still too high for the
consumer. It's not a consumer product, really.
Not for most, it's not. But someday in the near future, it will be. We'll create other products, and the gaming applications will be enjoyable for the whole family and not just for the golfer. To again make the game enjoyable, and others that never thought about playing golf take interest in it. You can see that in driving ranges today, and that's an area that we see lots of opportunity for our business, and creating, being a vertically integrated company business. We cover the engineering, the hardware, the software, and the firmware to be able to control every aspect of that technology and performance base that goes into every application, no matter what it is, and we're expanding upon that every day.
I'm not going to take up too much more time talking about how much we enjoy the product. One or two last things, really. The first is we took a tour of your facility earlier this year and learned that everything you do is in-house.
Yep.
Like this device, to the people paying attention, it's not manufactured overseas with just a bunch of... You guys make everything in-house, test in-house, and the testing would blow your mind. We weren't allowed to take pictures in there, so I can't splash some images up back here, but it's not just hit the ball once, it's calibrated and send it on its way. What was the decision like to make everything in-house? I mean, you guys could make better margins making it overseas.
I think it comes down to the quality of the product. If we can control it from top to bottom and engineer its capability too. Our engineers are capable of doing this. They design the lenses that go into each camera, and then the way they each function, all the components that go into it, the way it all communicates and coordinates information and processes information within the device, and then in the software it communicates and links in with the various software platforms. Our engineering team, without a doubt, is some of the best engineers in the world at doing what we do with photometrics and cameras, optics, looking at information in 3D space and then creating the software platforms to convey that information to everybody. By controlling that information, again, from top to bottom, from engineering through the research and development, through production and manufacturing, we can assure the end user that they have the highest quality and capable functioning product that they'll purchase. And so we stand behind that quality in every unit that leaves the facility.
You mentioned something earlier, and I'm going to finish it up with this because this caught me by surprise, with the price point being not necessarily consumer. But the GC2 isn't going away. And it is kind of getting close to that consumer price point. Can you kind of share with me, because I don't remember, number one, what the price point is on those now? And they're getting hard to come by, I know, because they're very popular. But that is as close to consumer price friendly for a device of that kind that we've seen ever.
Yes. So with the GC2, if you just want it for the range and you're looking at data and you want to look at data indoors, you're about $5,500 for that technology. To add firmware or software, you're at about $6,800. Now that is about a 30% decrease in price over when it was brand new and introduced years ago. So it is becoming more and more cost effective. Still, obviously not a consumer product on a broad band, but it is making it more available, especially for a PGA or green grass account that wants to use it for their business and they want to use it for characterizing fitting or even instruction. It makes it more viable for them. And then there are end users that can get together as a group of guys and purchase one and have it in their garage at home, and then
for
they
those
have
winter
that
months.
as well. Yep, that's right, the winter months. And so as the technologies advance, there will be more and more pressure to develop a consumer price point product, but we have to develop that market as well and educate and do the marketing to make sure that market exists. I believe that it does. Our business believes that it does, and
our readers and viewers paying attention definitely believe it does.
Yeah, it's fun.
I want to thank you for taking the time to talk with us today.
Absolutely.
And you guys, like we said, will be able to test out these devices with any one of our writers or on the THP Tour van at any one of our events this year.